Hello, my name is DeCourcy Dumas, and I'd like to welcome you to the Why Is That So podcast, Living Life on Purpose edition. I'm a life purpose life coach, and I help people who feel stuck or uncertain about their current or future life uncover their purpose and define their gift in order to share it with the world so that they may feel more fulfilled. Now, my goal is to create a space where we simplify the truth behind personal power, growth and development, and self-transformation. And I got to be honest and say, I am honored to be in your presence today. So let me say this. Today's episode might actually be what you need to change how you face stress, emotional distress, and anxiety, not just today, but forever. So I want to talk to you about thinking greater than you feel. Here's a fact that most people never realize. If you don't learn how to lead your mind, your emotions will lead your life. And for those of you who've struggled with stress or anxiety or just emotional reactivity, this conversation is specifically for you. Now, if we're going on this journey together, we got to be real about it. Okay? You can't outlive your emotions if you don't understand them. And the program most of us were raised in teaches you to feel first and think later. So when you feel anxious, you assume you must be in some type of danger. And when you feel rejected, you assume you're not good enough. Or when you feel overwhelmed or just over it, you assume you're having trouble coping. But emotions are not facts, my friend. They are the end product of past experiences. Let me say that again. They're the end product of past experiences, often inspired by false beliefs, by narratives of neurological and neurochemical loops, right? And here's the catch 22. We rehearse them, we believe them, and we create our entire identity around them. We become this emotionally reactive person. But what if I told you it's possible to not believe every emotion that surfaces? What would you think? What if you could feel something and still choose a thought greater than that feeling? That's the shift, right? Did you know a negative emotion can only exist if you continue to justify it in your mind? I'm currently working on my doctorate degree in healthy medicine, and my focus is in neuroscience, which is the science of the brain. So, for the sake of that, let's get a little bit scientific right now. Here's the process of what's happening when you get stressed or anxious. The emotional center of the brain, the limbic brain, it kicks in. Cortisol, which is the stress hormone, it floods the system, and your body prepares for a threat. Even if no threat exists, even if it only exists in your mind. But here's the good news. The prefrontal cortex, your thinking brain, it can step in and it can override that. Here's the solution. We must train our brain to become more powerful than the emotional signal the body is trying to respond to. If thought is the language of the brain and emotions are the language of the body, and we know thought is redundant, and you have anywhere from 60 to 80,000 thoughts in a day, and everything starts with a thought, then it's safe to say nothing changes until you change the way you think. If we become more conscious of our unconscious thoughts and become more aware of those thoughts, we then have the ability to shift how we focus on thoughts. And if we practice this awareness, right, if we make it a habit, then we can change the program that's been running in the brain and the body. And if everything starts with a thought, we can agree on that, right? Everything starts with a thought. Okay, so if you have the right thought present in consciousness, then that encourages the right action, which can lead to different experiences, hence creating the right emotion. But how do we do this and make it more permanent? It's called neuroplasticity. Your brain can be rewired based upon what you focus on. And where you place your attention and your focus is where your energy, that's exactly where it goes, right? And what are emotions? But energy and motion. So this energy and motion throughout the body, with this emotional rehearsal, you can literally install a new emotional software. This program starts to now run in the brain, and you can change your state of being and your entire emotional state. Hence, feeling now feelings of gratitude, calm, peace, focus. And when you do this daily, your body no longer lives in a constant state of survival. It will then begin to exist in places of safety and security and peace and in new possibilities. Now, this isn't some fake it till you make it mysticism. It's neurobiology. Neuro meaning the brain, and biology meaning the body. And it works. I was once in a relationship with someone who lived in constant stress and chronic anxiety. She had trouble sleeping. Her appetite was low. Uh, she had no real energy about life except to get up, go to work, repeat. Get up, go to work, repeat. She was an overthinker who always expected something bad to happen. She always looked for the worst. She'd gone through therapy, she'd read tons of books, and she placed affirmations all around herself, but nothing shifted until she began thinking greater than she felt. She became more aware of herself about when she was about to spiral emotionally, and she named it. She would say, I feel unsafe, but I am safe. I may be anxious, but I'm not being attacked by anxiety. This is the way you're changing the program and unwiring and rewiring. She practiced breath work. She journaled positive thoughts on a day-to-day basis. She visualized herself as calm at the beginning of every day before any type of panic could even surface or appear. And after 60 days, her body was no longer living in fear. And after 90 days, her body simply acquiesced. She thought greater than she felt. And this is available and possible for anyone who's watching or listening to this episode. There are some tangible tools available that can be practical and beneficial as well. Great example is the 90-second reset. You know, when you feel anxious or overwhelmed, just pause for a minute. Set a timer for 90 seconds. Deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for 4 seconds. Out 6 seconds. And repeat that. You see, you don't have to fix it, right? Just breathe. The emotional connection will naturally fade on its own. You rehearse your state of being. Close your eyes for 5 minutes each day. Imagine a version of yourself who is calm, cool as an iceberg, and truly embrace the feeling in a real way, right? The brain and body don't know the difference between a real experience or one that exists through thought alone, right? And body leads mind. Stress lives in the body. So get moving. Go for a walk. Exercise. dance, stretch. When your body shifts, your thoughts will follow. So tell me, Coach DeCourcy, how do I make this a lifestyle? Okay, good question. You create your own mind mapping practice, right? Similar to how you work out your body, so too must you train the brain, right? Start each day with focus, intention, and attention, not reaction. Don't reach for your cell phone as soon as you awake. Checking TikTok, checking IG, checking emails. First, you want to anchor your nervous system, maybe with some breath work or some morning meditation, right? Practice more positive and elevated language. No more, I'm sick and tired of this or that. Instead, say, I'm learning patience with the things that have not yet changed. Remember, your body's cell system and genes are listening to every word you speak. So it's important what you say, and it's important that you track your wins, right? Every time you choose a thought over an emotion, write it down. Jot it in your phone, write it in a tablet, write it in a journal, because every time you do that, you're creating a new habit and forming new circuits in the brain. You're becoming someone new, literally. So let's part with this. You're not your feelings. You're not your anxiety. You're not your past. You are a thinker. You are living based upon a vision of the future and no longer the memories of the past. You are a chooser and a creator. You are the initiate. And when you start thinking greater than you feel, you begin to reclaim your life force, your very power to be, to do, to become. Hey, thank you for sharing this time with me. If this episode spoke to your spirit, please share it. Before you go, like and subscribe, and check in next week for more content, because this is only the beginning.